Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel that is Learn WFM. My name is Sandeep, and in this part we'll discuss more about service level. And in first part we have discussed about like definition and formula for the service level, and we also came to know about what is service level agreement, and we have also discussed what is threshold. We have also discussed like significance of short abandoned calls, and we also calculated service level, and we have also discussed some mistakes while answering questions related to service level. Right. So this part is basically based on calculations only. So we'll see different scenario based interview questions. All right. So let's start. So this is the first question. So suppose there is a process or a campaign where we have where the calls offered are like 500 and the call answered within threshold that is 400 and the threshold time is 30 seconds and the target service level is 90%. So the interviewer asked basically that how many calls we would have more answer to achieve the 90% of SL. Alright, so suppose there is a process or a campaign where these are the metrics, like we have received these many of calls, we have answered these many of calls. So the interviewer asked basically that how many of calls I would have more answered to achieve the target SL of 90%. Alright, so first of all, I'll have to calculate the current service level. So how I'll calculate? So the formula for that is simple. That is call answered within threshold divided by the total calls offered. Right here, the interviewer didn't give me the call short abandoned calls. Didn't mention anything about the short abandoned calls. So I'll assume that there's no short abandoned calls. All right. So how I'll calculate the service levels? Just I simply divide by calls answered within threshold and the total calls offered. So what I got that is 0.80. So first of all, just convert it into in percentage. So my current service level is 80%, right? So I'll have to check how many additional calls I would have answered to achieve these percentage of SL. Right. For that, the formula is target SL minus current SL multiplied by total calls offered. All right. So my the target SL is 90% and my current SL is 80% and my total calls offered is 500. All right. So that means that if I would have answered 50 more calls, then my service level would be like 90%. So you can check also if I would have answered 50 more calls. All right. So it means like 400 plus 50. That is, if I would have handled 450 calls out of 500, then my service level would be like 90%. Right. So basically, the interview want to check that if you can understand the question that what basically the interviewer has asked, that how much many calls that particular process or an agent would have handled on that particular day to achieve this percentage of SL, right? So moving on to the next question. So suppose this question the calls offered is like 1,000 and call answered within threshold is 800 calls and threshold time is 20 seconds and required service level is 85%. So the interviewer asks basically the shortfall SL with respect to actual. So first of all, I'll have to calculate the actual SL. So for that, what I'll have to do, just I'll simply divide the call answered within threshold with respect to the total calls offered. So my actual service level is 80%. All right. So what is the shortfall? For shortfall, I'll just uh, subtract basically the required service level and the actual service level. So basically, I'm short by 5%. All right. So this is also just on the formula base. So simple, if you know the service level formula, you can simply calculate it, right? So moving on to the next question. So in this question, that interview has given the service level that is 80%, and the threshold is 20 seconds, and the call offered is 500, and the ASA is 15 seconds. All right. So the question the interviewer asks is basically what is the target number of calls to be answered within 20 seconds. So I'll have to calculate basically the call answered within threshold, right? So for that, what I'll have to do, just I'll have to multiply basically the calls offered and the service level, right? So the calls answered within threshold is 400 seconds. So if you see the formula for a service level, that is call answered within threshold and divided by calls offered. So I'll have to calculate this. And so simply if I divide service level and calls offered, I'll get this call answered within threshold, right? So here also I have not included the short abandoned calls, all right, as the interview didn't mention anything about it. All right. So moving on to the next question. So in one of the interview question, I have also seen that this question being asked that suppose ASA is 5 second, and so how do you set the threshold for the process? So ASA is basically that how much time each agent is taking to answer a call. So that is basically the average speed of answering. So it means that agent are answering the call within 5 seconds, and client also want that that should be answered within 5 seconds. All right. So how do I set the threshold? So for threshold, the formula is that answer time plus the buffer time. So suppose I'm taking the buffer like 10 to 15 seconds. So 5 second is the buffer, and I'm taking buffer as 15 seconds. So I'll set the threshold at 20 seconds. All right. So for that, so then the interviewer asked me that how will you decide the buffer is like 10 to 15 second? Alright, so these are like some factors on which we decide the buffer. So first is call volume. So because there like some interval where like we receive higher volume than the predicted forecasted. Alright, suppose I forecasted 1,000 calls in an interval, but I received like 1,200, right? And then the call type, suppose they like different call type require, because basically the call type that is different threshold required for different type of calls like sales, support, complex issue. So all these type of calls may require different threshold. Then the agent performance. So basically the new hire takes more time to answer a call. So that also I'll consider to decide this buffer. And then the call priority. So the call priority, it may be possible that clients say that I want my calls to be answered as early as possible. So threshold should be like 10 seconds. So if the threshold is 10 seconds, it means that ASA is like 5 seconds and I have taken buffer of only 5 seconds. All right. So it depends on the client also. So how he want to decide the buffer. All right. So on these factors, basically this buffer is basically dependent. All right. So moving on to the next question. So in this question, there are like two scenarios. First of all, we'll discuss the first. So in the first scenario, AST is given 300 seconds and the calls offered is like 200 calls, and the service level target is 85% and the threshold is 30 seconds. All right. So how many agents are required to meet the service level target? All right. So the interview didn't mention that the volume he has given is for like in for an hour or a day or a weekly or a monthly. So you will have to proactively ask the calls you are giving is for like half an hour, for a day. You'll have to ask this, all right? Because for if you didn't answer and you make the calculation, that whole thing may get different answer you'll get. Or let me show you. So first of all, how will I calculate that how many agents are required? So first of all, I'll calculate the workload. So how will I calculate the workload? So for that, what I'll have to do, I'll have to multiply just total cost being offered and the AST. All right. So workload is 60,000 seconds. It means that I have the work of around 60,000 seconds in that particular hour. All right. So now how I'll calculate the FT. So for FT calculation, I just simply divide it by 3600, right? So FT needed is like 17. It means that one FT will work for 3600 seconds because in an hour we have like 3600 seconds. All right. So we basically require 17 FT. All right. And the interview has given me the service level target of 85%, which is like appreciable service level. So we'll have to take a buffer. So I have taken buffer of 20 percent. You can take like 15% or 10% as you wish, but I've taken like buffer of like 20%. So how I will calculate the FT now? So this is basically 17 multiplied by, as I've taken 20% of buffer, so I'll multiply by 120%. Right. So basically to achieve that service level target of 80%, I'll have to place the basically I'll have to place 20 agents. Right. So now moving on to the next question. In this scenario, so AST is same like in as in the first case, like 300 seconds. Call offered like 200 calls, and the service level target is same, that is 85%, and the threshold is also like 30 seconds, which is same as first scenario, right? But the calls offered here in the first scenario was for an hour, but here this call is being offered for in that particular for in the entire day. So 200 calls I have received in that entire day. All right, now I'll have to calculate the agents required to meet the service level target. All right, so how I'll calculate the workload, similar as I have calculated in the first case. Just multiply AST by call offered, that is 60,000 seconds. So workload, that is for that entire day I have the workload of 60,000 seconds. Then how I'll calculate the FT needed, that is 60,000 divided by 3600, and I also divided by 7.5, right? So why I divided by 7.5? So I'm assuming that process every advisor is working for 8 hours. All right, so 30 minutes is for lunch. For that 30 minutes, I'm removing basically, and I'm assuming one FT means 7.5 hours. It means that one FT will give me 7.5 hours, that is productive hours, and 30 minutes, that is lunch hours, that is basically non-billable in most of the campaigns, right? So in most of the process, it depend on the process to process also. Somewhere um, agent are working hours is like 9 hours, somewhere is 9.5 hours, and so accordingly one FT definition of the FT may have different meaning. All right. So here I'm assuming one FT means 7.5 hours. So I had divided it by 7.5. So it means that basically on that particular day I require basically two advisors to answer these many of calls, because in that particular day I have received only 200 calls in that entire day. Right. Again, I'll have to add a buffer, that is I needed basically two advisors and I have taken buffer of 20%. All right. So I basically require three agents. So you can see the difference. If you didn't understand what the question, what the interview has asked, if he has given the volume like for an hour or a day, so you can see the difference. The calculation for both in both the scenarios are like totally different. All right, so you'll have to understand what the interview is asking. So somewhere you'll have to proactively ask that if the call volume is like for an hour or an half an hour. In most of the campaign, we work for an half an hourly or half an hourly interval. So they may give the volume for an half an hour also. So you'll have to make the calculation accordingly. Then I will not divide it by 3600. I'll divide it by 1800. All right. If the volume is given for an half an hour only, right? So similarly, like for other, you can assume like half an hour or as the interviewer has given the volume, right? So moving on to the next question, that is question number 6. All right. So in maybe like somewhere you'll have to give a written test, so there will be like these kind of box where you have given the interval, they're like six interval. In the second column you have call answered within threshold, and in the third column that is call offered, and in the fourth column that is service level. So you'll have to calculate the service level, and also you'll have to calculate the net service level. So in this in the first interval you have answered with basically the calls answered within threshold is 80. In the second interval you have answered like 70 calls. Then in the third interval you have answered 70 calls, and likewise. And the call offered in the first interval is like 100, then 90, then 110. All right, so likewise. So I'll have to calculate the service level first for this part for the first interval. So how I'll calculate this? So for that, the formula is simple. That is call answered within threshold and the calls offered. So the service level is 80%. So the same formula I'll copy paste for the other intervals. So that for the next interval, my service level is 70%, then 82%, and likewise. So now I'll have to calculate the net service level. So how I'll calculate the net service level? For that, the sum pro formula I'll use basically that is sum product. So in later part, I'll explain why I use the sum product only. All right. So first of all, let's calculate the net service level. So how I'll calculate the net service level? So that is basically the sum product that is call offered in the as a first array, and then service level in the second array. Then I'll divide it by sum of total calls being offered, right? So net service level is 80%. So why I'm multiplying basically calls offered with service level. So if I multiply calls offered with service level, it will give basically give me the call answered within threshold, and I have divided by total calls offered. Let me explain with the simple calculation through simple calculation. So what I am doing here why I use the sum product. So what I have done, I have multiplied basically calls offered with respect to service level. Say similarly for other intervals. Then for the third interval, then for the fifth interval, then for the sixth interval, right? So sum product is basically multiplying this and then summing up uh, like all this. Then I had divided the total number of with the total number of calls. All right. So this part is basically the numerator part is basically the call answered within threshold. That is basically all calls answered within threshold, and this is basically the total calls of being offered. Right. I'm summing up all the calls offered being offered on that particular day, you may say. So what I got basically the same answer which I got earlier with the sum product. So basically you'll have to not calculate like this in an interview or somewhere. You'll have to calculate using the sum product only, right? So I had also explained that why you basically use the sum product. So you can explain the interview also that if he asks you that why you use the sum product only, so you should know why we using basically any Excel formula. So this is the answer. So moving on to the next question. So in this question, basically the same question, but here we have given the short abandoned calls also. Right. So now I'll have to calculate the service level. So we know the formula, so then there will be no issue. We know that this is basically the call answered within threshold divided by calls offered minus short abandoned calls. Right. So I got the service level of 84%. I'll just copy paste the formula for the next interval also. All right. So this is the first service level I got for first interval. This is for the second interval, then the third, fourth, and fifth. Moving on, how I'll calculate the net service level. use the same sum product formula, that is total calls being offered. In the second array, I'll use the service level, right? And then I'll divide it by, all right, sorry, I'll divide it by total calls offered. So now my service level is 84%. And if you see the difference between question number 6 on 7th, that calls offered answered within threshold, the numbers are same like 80, 70, 90, 85, and 75. And for this in the seventh question also the numbers are same like 80, 90, 70, 90, 85, and 75. And the calls offered is like are also same like 190, 110, 190, 110. The only difference is in seventh question number seventh, I have included the short abandoned cost. So basically, what I want to explain you here is that the difference in net service level. Here I got the service level of 80%, but if I included the short abandoned cost, I got the service level of 84%. Like service level has increased. So this is basically the significance of short abandoned cost. I have also explained in detail in the first part also. So what is basically the significance of adding short abundant cost? So for detail, you can see the first part also. So here you can see they like increase in the net service level, right? So this question also being asked why we include the short abundant cost, right? So moving on to the next question. So if you don't understand, didn't get why we are, what is the like significance, so you can watch the first part also, right? So moving on. So this is like simple question as we have studied earlier also. So here we have calls offered and the service level interval wise. Uh, Here we didn't get like call answered within threshold. Then also we can calculate like net service level using simple the sum product formula as we have calculated earlier, right? That is calls offered and the service level divided by total calls being offered, right? So you can see somewhere to get whenever you go for interviews, somewhere you can see this type of works also, that how can I calculate the net service level if I have given the calls offered and service level interval wise. All right. So this is how you can calculate the net service level, right? So moving on to the next, these are not like calculation based, but these questions can also be asked based on the basis of service level. All right. So basically, they ask what is the impact of some real-time metrics on service level. So suppose if we increase the number of agent, so what will happen to the service level? If in occupancy get increased, what will be impact on service level? So these are the answer for that. Those all those questions. So if we increase the number of agents, suppose we get real time some overtime we get. So if the number of agents, suppose we have like new hires on floor, so then in that case, whenever we have higher number of agents, we got high number of agents, then my service level will automatically increase. All right, I have more agents to answer the calls, so my service level will increase. uh, s- uh, there may be scenario that occupancy get increased, so it means that most of the agents are occupied, and so gradually my service level will decrease. All right. So what will happen if my ASA get increased? So it means that more time agents are taking to answer a call. So my service level will decrease. All right. If abandon rate get increased, what will happen? My SLA will decrease. Obviously, the calls are getting abandoned, so my service level will obviously get decreased. What will happen if my volume get increased? Obviously, my service level will decrease. I receive more calls than predicted, then my service level will decrease. What will happen if my shrinkage is high? Then it means that my staffing get reduced. Then again my shrinkage will, sorry, my service level will decrease. what will happen? My non-adherence is increase. So what will happen if my non-adherence increase? It means that staffing will get reduced where needed. All right. So the advisors are not adhering their shift. It means that there will be a nice shortfall in somewhere in some intervals. Then my service level will decrease. All right. So and what will happen if attrition is high? Then again my staffing will get reduced and service level will then decrease. All right. So these are like relational questions. So these question may also be can may asked in interview. All right. Now moving on to the next. We know that service level and occupancy have inverse relation. Both have inverse relation. If I increase service level, then occupancy will decrease, and if I increase occupancy, then my service level will decrease. So into will ask can ask that how can you prove that? So for that, I need basically the R length. So here, suppose we have like 15 agents and ASA is like 5 seconds, volume is 65 and AST is 350 seconds. So how I'll calculate the SLA? So for SLA, the formula is SLA. The moment for that, if first of all that RLeg file should be enabled in your Excel. So for calculation of SLA, I'll have to write equals to SLA, then a bracket, then this function button, then you'll get this pop-up or you can say a box. Will you'll have to just type them. You'll have to just put the metrics like number of agents. First number of agents like 15 agents. Then ASA 5 seconds. Then volume 65 and the AST is 350. You might not see this checkbox because I have disabled as of now from the screen. This is basically I have just taken the screenshot and for you I have included on my Excel sheet this type of pop-up or you can see this type of box on your whenever you use the formula for the service level, right? So now I'll calculate the service level. So service level I got with these metrics is 59%, right? Now I'll calculate the occupancy. So for occupancy metrics required are agents, volume and AST, right? So for agents, I'm taking the same number of agents that is 15. Volume, taking the same like 65 and AST, I'm taking the same as 350, right? These three metrics are basically required to calculate the occupancy. And I have already told that for calculation of occupancy, we basically use the formula that is utilization. In our length, we basically use the formula uh, that is utilization to calculate occupancy, right? Let's calculate. All right. So first of all, I need three metrics that is number of agents that is 15, then the volume that is 65, and the AST is 356. All right. All right. So the occupancy I got basically that is 84%, right? Now, just remember these numbers, these percentage, that is SLA is my 59% and occupancy is 84%. Now you will see the changes and the impact. Now suppose I'm increasing the number of agents. So from 15, I'm changing it to 16. So you can see my service level also get increased, but my occupancy get decreased. You can see the impact again, like I'm increasing from 16 to 17. Now you can see that SLA got increased like 83%. I'm increasing to 18 agents, then again it get increased and your occupancy get decreased. Then I'm increasing to 20 agents, then I'm approaching towards 100%. Then my utilization got decreased. Suppose I'm taking now 21%, I'm almost towards 100%, then my occupancy is like 60%. If I use 22 agents, now my SLA is 99% and my utilization is 57%. So you can see the inverse relation. Whenever I'm increasing the agents, my service level is getting increased, but utilization get decreased. All right. So I'm taking reverse, like initially I have taken 15 agents, now I'm taking 14 agents. So you can see the difference. Now my service level is 39%, my occupancy is 90%. Right. So they're like inverse relation. So this is how you can show the interview that mm, uh, how can you show, like this is the way you can show that there is like inverse relation between occupancy and service level. All right. So this part is done. I hope this I hope that this is clear now that how can we show to the interview. Now they're like different metrics like shrinkage, adherence, and attrition. What will be the impact of service level? How can you prove that? So for that also, you can show that by showing the number of agents, because if all these metrics directly impact the number of agents available real time and thus impact the SLA. So if my shrinkage is high, my adherence is high, or my attrition is high, the number of agents will get reduced real time. All right. So if the number of agents real time get reduced, my service level will also get reduced. Right. So this is how you can show for the other metrics as well. Right. So now, for volume and AST, what will be the impact on service level? We can check the impact. Let's check the impact through service if I change the volume and AST. So first of all, first let's see for the volume first. So suppose the volume I forecasted, that is 65. So I forecasted that if I have the volume of like 65%, and suppose I have 15 agents, then but in an actual, if I receive like 68 calls instead of 65, I receive 68 calls. So the moment I increase the volume, my service level got reduced. Suppose I received 70 calls, then my service level got reduced to 38%. Suppose I received 75 calls, then my service level got reduced again. Alright, so it means that volume has inverse relation with service level. All right, now let's check with the AST. Suppose my AST is 350 seconds. Now I'm increasing from 350 to 353. Now my service level get reduced. Suppose I'm increasing to 360. Now my service level get reduced. Right. Now I'm changing it to 370. My service level get reduced. So both volume and AST has inverse relation. The moment we increase volume or AST, my service level will get reduced. All right. So this is how you can show the interviews. What will be the impact of these two metrics on service level. All right. So I hope this is clear also. So moving on to the next question, that this question is also being asked. So what is the impact on service level if we increase the ASA? All right. So this question may most of the time is also being asked in interview. So what is the impact? So we need to understand first whether the interview is asking about ASA, the real-time ASA, and the targeted ASA, that is planned ASA. So I'll explain you here. So suppose I'll explain you through Erlang only. Suppose I have the agents like 16 agents. ASA is like 5 seconds. Volume is 65 seconds, and AST is 350 seconds. So let's calculate the service level using Erlang only. So service level, I basically need the number of agents. Then I basically need ASA. Then I need volume. Then I need AST. Then I need AST. All right. So my SLA is 73%. All right. So now I'm increasing the ASA. Suppose my ASA from 5 seconds, I'm increasing it to 15 seconds. So you can see that my service level get increased. Now I'm changing it to 20 seconds. Now my service level is 77 seconds. Suppose I am changing it to 2 minutes. It means 120 seconds. So my service level increase again. All right. So if I change it to like 5 minutes, 5 minutes means 300 seconds. My service level will get increased. So it means that for like uh, for Erlang, we can see that we are taking ASA as a target. So increasing the ASA target will increase my service level also. All right. So, but in real time, if it is suppose my ASA target is 5 seconds only, and ASA get increased, like agent are taking more time to answer a call, which basically means that it may be due to like high volume and high AST, high shrinkage, then automatically my ASA will get increased. Like I'm answering in 5 seconds, now I'll have to answer within like 10 seconds or 15 seconds because they like wait time. Like the customer will have to wait for the to get their call being answered, right? So in that case, my service level will decrease, right? So you will have to understand the interview is basically asking the ASA as the targeted as ASA or the real-time ASA. All right. So people get confused somewhere. So you'll have to clarify with the interview. So yeah, so suppose there are like two scenarios. If we increase our ASA target, then service level will increase basically. And in the second scenario, if ASA get increased real time, suppose I have the target of 5 seconds, but now agents are responding within 15 seconds or like 20 seconds, then my service level will basically decrease. So you'll have to clarify. All right. And you also need to clarify with the interview that he is asking about the targeted ASA or the real-time ASA. All right. So in calling process, the ASA is basically the 5 second or the 10 seconds or 15 seconds. All right. But in chat process, there may be like ASA of 2 minutes or like 5 minute also. So this basically in the email process or the chat process, all right, where the ASA is like 2 minute or 5 minute. But in calling process, the agent has to respond as early as possible. So the ASA target is basically 5 second or the 10 second. All right. So I hope this is clear now. So whenever Samir, any interviewer asks about ASA, so I hope that you may able to answer the question. All right. Now moving on. So I have basically prepared notes and PPT and Excel for all the videos. I've prepared many videos till now related to real time and scheduling. And so for all those, I have make a link. So in the description, you can check the link to get the PPTs and Excel. So for preparing notes and to practice with your own number, in the description will you can check the link and you'll get the PPT and Excel to practice by yourself, right? So you can say templates, notes, or material, whatever you can say. So, but basically, I have prepared PPTs and Excel. So for all the videos, so you can check the link in the description below. You'll get a link where clicking on that link, you can get the PPTs in Excel also, right? So moving on to the next. So my upcoming video will also be on some WFM metrics. That is basically the calculation base because basically the real-time metrics like service level AST, adherence, the basic introductory type of videos I have already prepared. So the next upcoming video will be on calculation based only and interview basis also, right? And this is for my motivation. Just like and share this video to many people as much as possible so that I continue preparing such kind of video. All right. Uh, and to get notification for such videos, please subscribe this channel. All right. So this is all. Thank you. Thank you so much. And bye bye.